If we depart from the mainstream, we have a real problem because we're going to, the wrath of our colleagues will be visited upon us. So the human factor keeps us aligned with the mainstream, even though we may really know that there's some issues in the mainstream that are simply wrong and don't fit. And so this is a system problem. It's actually a problem that reflects our human nature. We want to protect ourselves, protect our reputation, protect our standing in our scientific field. It's a very, very, very big problem that I think stands unrecognized. You think that, well, truth will prevail, but truth will prevail if we're free to choose as we wish. We're not free to choose as we wish. And those people who are audacious enough to step out of the mainstream, they lose almost every time. The classic case is Ignaz Semmelweis. He was a Hungarian young, bright physician, and he went to Vienna, which was the foremost hospital. He was in the obstetrics ward. And there were a lot of problems in the obstetrics ward because the women would go in and about to deliver, and they were triaged, and someone said, you go this way or this way, and this way was the midwives, and they did fine. This way was the doctors, and they didn't do fine. They began to get some sort of fever, and they often died, you see. And Semmelweis came in, and he's trying to figure out what's going on here. And he figured it out. He figured out that the physicians doing internal examinations on that woman, that came second in their daily regimen. First came examining the corpses from the night before. So they put their hands on the corpses, and then they do internal examinations. And he said, hey, there's something wrong here. If you wash your hands, you might do better. And he did that. And he incurred the wrath of his fellow physicians, and he wound up in a mental institution and died there. So what's going on? What's going on is, the people who are the experts in the field, who dominate the field, don't want these young Turks to come and say, you're wrong, and I have a better idea. It's just human nature. In the case of the medical establishment, it's beyond just human nature. It's that the various companies who have a stake in the economics of what's going on play a pretty major role. And I think most of us realize that. We've seen scandal after scandal in the pharmaceutical companies with drugs and astronomical prices. And, so we understand their position too. They're a business, and every business wants to succeed, and their desire for success conflicts with the desire to improve medical treatment. This is the crux of the matter, and that's why I think it's entirely possible that many new therapies come along, and they run up against obstacles day after day. And so these almost obvious kinds of approaches to improving human health, they face the obstacles of you might say, the competition, the desire for these companies who stand to benefit economically against the desire to improve human health. That conflict needs to be resolved.